e5. Gonna try and play a knight in reverse, not to be confused with any other things in reverse. Maybe I could have gone d4 there, even with the loss of tempo, since 1e4, c5, g3, d5 is considered a good line for black. Anyway, now we get a standard close to Sicilian in reverse, so although I'm not exactly sure if his knight on f6 is perfectly placed. Never seen that move before. Seems a tad over-ambitious to me. Maybe he just mouse slipped. That's a shame if he did. Bishop g4 is usually not a good move in these lines, because I want to play h3 to secure the bishop on e3 later anyway, so it's just losing in tempo. And I don't think c5 is helping his cause very much. And I guess the exchange in e2 was as good as any move, but now I'm a very healthy pawn up, and should be doing very well. He should go knight e8, d6 now. Play for blockade and hope for the best. But yeah, it's hopes for getting anything from this game are obviously slim. If knight h5, we can just go king h2, and if he had a better grip in the center, then he might have had some tricks there, but I don't think he does with my extra pawn in there. And yeah, unfortunately, I think d5 was certainly a mouse slip. So, but we cannot sit here on a serious chess show and give takebacks, unfortunately. Now I'm calculating a line starting with knight b5, a6, d5, rook e6, f5, rook f6, seeing whether I have something there. Because he's a little bit late with the plan with knight d6, but it still is a good one. So I'm just going to keep it simple and close the position since I didn't find the way over there. But no, he's going to survive for a while, clearly. Now I'm looking at lines like GF, and if EF, then knight f6. I think E4 wasn't really too dangerous. Yeah, this was a little dumb. Now I thought I was threatening f6, but he can go bishop f6. Bishop d7, rook d7, and I'm not actually winning any material. So I guess I should go for a different one. trying to force f6. At least then I get bishop to e6. After... well, that was actually quite clever. I cannot play bishop e7. Yeah, I just lose a piece. So now after f6, unfortunately that just hangs a piece. Yeah, now after f6, my queen wasn't going to g4 h5, so it would have been a little less dangerous for him. But yeah, the move that he did make was unfortunately a blunder of a piece, and from now on the game shouldn't be too exciting. Yeah, let's try and simplify the position. I'm getting told that my video keeps freezing, which I have no idea why. Have a new computer, and I'm a bit of a Neanderthal when it comes to all this tech stuff, but it shouldn't be that difficult. And I do somehow have the feeling that this is not entirely my fault. Maybe incorrect though. Yeah. I don't even want to allow queen f2, so. Queen b6. He's trying his best, but he's not gonna lead him anywhere. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to think. Just keep it simple. Yeah, queen comes to d4. Now I'm thinking rook d1 and push the pawn. Unless he goes queen a4, then I go b3 first and then push the pawn. Now this pawn is queening. That's the rook. Okay, good effort, sir. Let's try the next one. We got, let's try it, double angriff. Keep getting white. I have no idea why that is. e4, best by test. c6, okay. I'm gonna try an old coffee house favorite of mine. I once beat Tomaszewski with this at the last round of the World's Blitz 2015. Should be noted I was in major tilt at that point, and the win had nothing to do with the opening. So, and it should also be noted that I've lost a Blitz game to Laurent Fressinet in this line, which is not something I ever wanted to have on my resume. Should I go f4 or knight f3? Nah, I'll go knight f3. The way that he's played it, my system kind of makes some sense. It feels like I'm getting a kind of decent French, since the bishop is going to c2 very soon to occupy its kind of lawful place, and yeah, it's not too bad. So clearly on move 3, with black, you should take the pawn. There's no doubt about that. And then white's compensation is, objectively speaking, nebulous at best. Maybe he wants knight b4, but I don't think he actually wins any time here. Because, well, I'm moving my pieces back and forth, but I kind of want to play a3 anyways, and c3 is the best square for my knight. Should be noted that on the previous move, had he gone g5, which is a typical move in these lines, I probably would have gone bishop e3. And with the knight on d2, this, I don't have this move, bishop b3. So I think when the knight is on b1, that move isn't particularly successful because he cannot immediately break my center. So he's playing decently, obviously, but I think I'm getting a very easy game here, and he's soon gonna have to watch out for some kingside attacks. All of his pieces are on decent squares, but it's hard for him to organize an attack, or it's hard to see what points he's going to attack. And now g3, the plan is very simple. I'm just going to go h4 and put something on g5 and checkmate him. That's the very simple plan, and often it's hard to do something. Which he may have to go for f6 or f5 at some point, but then I've clearly achieved something serious. It's very tempting to go knight g5 anyways here. Takes queen h5 and so on, but I'm just going to go knight h2 instead, intending obviously queen h5, then knight g4 and or bishop h6. It's going to be very hard for him to defend. Yeah, king h8 doesn't help. It's all about the space advantage, which makes it so hard for him to transfer his forces from one side to the other. So this is actually what I kind of hoped that he wouldn't do. Since now I may have to take on h6, which I believe he should not take, because then after takes, e6 will hang, and I will win way too many pawns unless there's a mate. But he's going to go queen e8 and survive to an ending, which is a little dull. On the other hand, after ef, knight f6, queen g6, he can at the very least play queen e8 and survive to an ending anyway. So whatever. I'm just gonna cash in the pawn and be happy. And so queen e8 happened. That was correct. Now I have to decide where to put the bishop. I probably should go all the way back to c1. The reason is that after knight c4, I want to protect b2 and probably go bishop to d3. And if I'd gone, let's say, bishop f4, then after knight c4, bishop d3 could have taken on b2, bishop a6, and then so now he allowed me to play bishop a4, which is a chance I think I should take. Trying to annoy him a bit. I kind of want to transfer the knight from e2 to f4. Just wondering if I should allow him to play b5 so easily. Maybe I should go knight b5. Yeah, I like knight b5. If he does take it, it feels like I'm getting some kind of grip on the light squares, and otherwise that knight on b5 is really annoying. And after this one, I think I can just take on a7. Yeah, knight b5, and if rook c4, I can just go knight c3, and that's a very nice pawn. Knight b3, yeah, I was thinking rook b1, obviously. Now I'm thinking about bishop g5 as well. Bishop g5, knight g5, knight a1, knight a6, but now that may work, but now I see after bishop g5, knight g5, knight d4 is possible, so just gonna go with the simple option. Rook b1, 2 pawns up, and not a worry in this world. Now he has to take on c1, and in addition to being 2 pawns down, he also has by far the worst pieces. Bishop b5 just killing his knight completely. And I think this is a case of absolute zugzwang. King f7 loses to knight g5, and that was the only legal move that didn't hang anything. So that was a fun finish at the very least. Okay, let's see what challenges we have. I may accept a 3-minute game now, or let me see if I have any 3-minute challenges. Okay, there we go. Templarity from Croatia. Okay, what opening do I want to play? Let's try the modern. And with a little twist. I lost to Mickey Adams with this line at the Olympiad in 2010. But it wasn't necessarily because of the opening. Naturally, after knight f6, you should go e5. That's the way to punish. But d5, knight c3 isn't bad either. But after d5, e5 is the way to try. Clearly, what he does is a little bit tame, and now I've already solved my opening problems. He's got a solid position, obviously. But I'm fairly comfortable. I assume you should take on c5. I go queen c5, then castles. Oh, bishop e3. Maybe bishop e3 is not bad, but it feels a bit strange leaving b2 hanging. Now after c4, I will just go, I think, queen d6, and if dc, I'm pretty happy to play an ending with a superior pawn structure. And otherwise, if he goes c3, he can go c3. It just, I don't know. It seems to stink a bit. But maybe he's quite alright. Bishop d4. Yeah, my hopes were on queen a5 here. Seeing that he probably cannot play something like queen c2 because of bishop d4. And if he castles, I can go e5, and as far as I can see, I win some material. It should be noted that after b4 now, I need to go queen a3. Since if b4, queen c7, he has knight e5, bishop e5, bishop e5, saving the piece. So what he should try is, yeah, again, b4. Now what he should try is definitely, he should just go for it with knight g5 or bishop c4, and play for mate. That's his only hope. The one thing he shouldn't do is think, because when we're playing 3 minutes, you simply don't have that time. You have to play faster, sir. Because yeah, this doesn't really work. I can just take on c3 because b4 is hanging, so rook c1 trap the queen, and otherwise I have d3. Thanks for the game, but yeah, you gotta play more ambitiously in the opening. You gotta punish those dubious lines. Okay, let's see, who do we have here? Okay, let's try Tapu. Rated above 2700. Should be a nice challenge. And I get a black game again, which is nice. As I said, I was getting too many white games. Knight f3. Okay, let's try c5. And b5. I like this system. It's not supposed to be very good, but I don't know exactly why. And while I'm figuring that out, I thought, why not try it in Blitz? So yeah, now we got a Banker Gambit, which I'm fine with. I don't know what the accurate way is to play here. Haven't really played the Banker a lot for many years. Feeling like a5 shouldn't be too bad, but maybe the experts are laughing at me. So redirecting stuff to the queen side, then knight c7 is coming next, and hopefully after that I will be ready with either f5 or e6. Feels like I should insert rook b8 while I can. Is bishop a6 good? Takes. Yeah, why not? If knight b5, I would have gone knight c7 back, and he wouldn't have had his blockade. Now that I actually put my knight on b4, then he will have knight b5 later. But I'm counting on f5 to be good here. Maybe it's nothing special. Yeah, knight b5, that was expected. Maybe I can try and double rooks. Doesn't look too bad. I still haven't decided whether I'm gonna go f4 or eventually take e4. Also have ideas of e6 here. Yeah, so he's going to c4, which tells me that I should take action and go for e6. And go for e6 now. He takes e6, which is very natural, and queen c4. Okay, gonna try and play dynamically for once. Queen c5 is gonna happen. Then I go fe, and hopefully my play in the center will be quite strong. It does feel like my pieces are better coordinated than his, which should give me an advantage in this complications. And yeah, f4 just doesn't look very good. Now I can go knight d3. And if I get d4, he's going to get steamrolled. So now I have a pleasant choice. Let's take the pawn and exchange the bishops with a little trick. And a couple of pairs of rooks while we're at it to get an easily winning ending. Or is it so easy? Maybe I just messed up. He has knight c3 now. Huh, that was dumb. Okay, I just go knight c5 and he still has a little bit of hope. Can I go king e6? I don't know. Yeah, it's a little strange when you know you're going to win on time anyway, so you don't really focus that much on the quality of the moves. But okay, good game. That was a good fight. Let's see, who do we have? Did we have a Grandmaster? I'm feeling Adam 2001 Rus. Okay, I just have to unfreeze the frame. And there we go. So this is I think I know. Yeah, Adam Akobian. He's a good player. Okay, let's go. This is pre-moving everything. That's nasty. Oh, this line. This is tricky. I don't really know what to do here. Queen c2, I suppose. Rook d1, maybe. This looks natural. Trying to discourage e5. Now DC I'm not going to take back. I'm going to go bishop a3. And if CD it feels like I have huge compensation. Yeah, so this is it's clearly the better option. But now I'm getting some activity, I feel. Okay, let's just go play it the classical way. Knight g5. Feels like I should be better here. I think FE was a bit overzealous. He should have thought a bit longer there, since now he's investing 20 seconds plus, but it's a little late because his position is already very dubious. Maybe there was something better, but this looked very clean. Maybe like queen b3 and then I don't even have to take on f6 because you cannot avoid the fork, but there's no particular reason to delay it, so just gonna. And yeah, I haven't won any material, but my positional advantage is overwhelming. So after knight a5, I'm gonna go queen b4, avoiding the trick knight a5, queen d5, rook d8. When the tables are kind of turned, I have to go queen f3 in order not to lose material. But he really doesn't have a convenient way to defend b7, seeing as rook b8, bishop d6 was losing. That's creative. Yeah, that was a creative defense. No, I still win a pawn, but not under as good circumstances as I would have liked. Yeah, this kid is fighting well. Yeah. Now it's become a bit of a race, which is never really what you dream of, but feels like I'm way ahead. At least the way he played it. Oh, I always have tempo with bishop c5 attacking a7, and yeah, this just doesn't work at all. Okay, she wants a rematch. Would have been interesting, but I think I gotta try some other people. Okay, let's give people what they want, or what I think they want. Yeah, Lawrence has been texting me nonstop the last days, wishing for a game. So I gotta give it to him. And yeah, he's gonna get knight f6 on the next move. There's no doubt about that. So we're living dangerously, but he's such a chicken. I mean, how do you not? He's gonna do the same? For real? The lack of cojones is astounding and quite disappointing. But hopefully we'll get an interesting game still. Once again, once White plays plays ED, I have absolutely no problems, but neither does he for the moment. D5 looks a bit counterintuitive to me. What if I just jump in now? He can sack a pawn with bishop d4, but I do not particularly believe it. I can just go knight b2 and ask him what you got. And I think the answer will be not very much. And so he should make a shameful retreat with bishop to c1, but yeah, now I can go play e6, and although the position will be symmetrical, feels like I'm way ahead in development, and my pieces are more active, so I should just be markedly better. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but who knows? Yeah, queen d3 I don't like very much. If knight d5 now, I go bishop f5. He doesn't have a proper square for... yeah, so he has to go queen d5. No, I guess I can just go bishop e6. And yeah, if he takes on d8, I'm very happy. Just maybe I should have taken with the other rook, seeing that after something, then knight b3, a b3, knight d2 or something, then a7 will be hanging. But he very kindly played rook b1, which means that it's not hanging. So, and then rook d1 just loses a pawn, and it doesn't look like the game is going to be too interesting. So he wants bishop b3, rook b4, but I think I can go c5 first, and yeah, it's starting to look pretty painful. Rook a4, but yeah, this is just pitiful. Rook a3 to protect the pawn. I go rook d8 back, and rook d2 is coming. Knight e4, I have rook to e2. Yeah, now this was a pitiful effort by Lawrence, almost as bad as losing 4 games with rook odds, and you never thought he'd top that. But if there's one man who can do it, it's Lawrence Trent. Just resign. Don't sit there and prevent me from playing other people who also want to play. Yeah, he heard me. Okay, let's get another one. So let's see who have we got. There's so many coming in. Okay, let's go with this one. This is Jake F from France. Doesn't sound like a very French name to me, but maybe it's Laurent's brother, Jake Fascinet. And he does play the French, which I like. You have to be consistent. Okay, let's try an old Steinitzian system. Or maybe Nimzowitzian. I don't know. Is this system Steinitz or Nimzowitsch? Maybe our readers or our listeners, our viewers can give some help, some insight to this question. Maybe I think it's probably Nimzowitsch. Steinitz was more about this system in 3 knight c3, knight f6, e5, knight d7. He would go f4, I think, and then c5, dc, queen c5, and then queen g4, queen h5. a5 is a nice prophylactical move. After knight d4, d2, his intention is to go a4. And then I cannot play knight b3 so easily. So that was a good plan. And seeing as people are playing this system against the Caro-Kann with where they go c5 after 3 e5, it stands to reason that this line isn't particularly good for white, objectively speaking. But I guess it's still half playable. I could take back the pawn on d4, but I don't want to do that yet. So the attentive listener will know that I used a similar plan in an earlier game today with h4 in a French in a French structure. So it's the same here. Rook a7, I failed to comprehend properly. Now I feel like he has to go h5 and queen h3, but my queen is temporarily out of play, but I don't think that bothers me too much. Yeah, now it feels like it's time to take the pawn now that he's misplaced so many pieces. And when he has misplaced pieces, it's no surprise that the tactics work for me. This is a little double attack, threatening the rook on a7 and also the fork on c7. And suddenly winning an exchange and the game. Yeah, let's go rook b1. Activating that rook. It's hard to see exactly where his counterplay is going to come from. Bishop c5, I could have gone, let's say, bishop e3, d4, bishop f4 or something. And knight a5, I don't think is very good, since I'm getting some central squares, and now the other knight is coming to b5 as well. The bishop may come to b6. And now his king is gonna hurt. I think it's did I miss something? It's a bit surprising to me that there's no immediate knockout here. I guess I can just double rooks on the d file, since he cannot go knight g6 because of knight e6. Maybe he actually can. Oh, I completely missed knight d7. Huh. Well, I've officially messed this up. It's become an interesting game. I mean, what am I doing? Queen e6, he goes. Wow, queen e6, he goes queen e5. Oh, this is awful. Not at least knight b6. I have queen e6. Well, I'm gonna win on time, but it became a lot more interesting than it should have. Okay, good game, Jake Frisine. Oof, that was okay. What have we got? Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot accept 1-minute challenges. It's pretty hard to say anything. To give any reasonable comments, then. Thanasis Sertadakis? I feel like I should know who that is. I don't really though. Okay. Let's try the Caro-Kann. And this was one suggested to me by one of my friends who had read a leaflet on the Caro-Kann many years ago. Basically, the leaflet told you to play queen c7 in this line, and also to play knight h6 after 3e5. And that became my repertoire for about 10 seconds. I think his c3 move wasn't the most incisive, and now I've kind of gained the tempo on normal lines, because he's gonna have to go c4 anyway. So c5 is sorry, c3 is clearly a waste of tempo. On the other hand, maybe it doesn't mean much. Maybe he'll still get c4 and his little clamp. So maybe I'm just full of shit. Who knows? What can I do? Queen c6 looks a little artificial. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyways, just to shake the game up a bit. I'm hoping for DC, bishop c5, and then no, DC I go queen c5, sorry. But I'm hoping for queen e4 at some point. Maybe I go bishop c5, because I was thinking knight e5, queen e4 should be good for me, but he goes rook e1 instead, and then I might just be losing time. I don't know why I played the Caro-Kann. It doesn't suit my doesn't actually suit my temperament. I like more active play. I'm just gonna turn on some more. It helped a little bit, maybe. Yeah, so we went knight e5, which I suppose isn't bad either. What am I supposed to do now? Queen e4 looks a bit too dull. It's probably gonna be dull, no matter what I do. Okay. Didn't want to exchange with you know, with queen e4. I think what I just did may have been really bad, but he may not have found the best way to exploit it, but still he's doing well. Because he's gonna get queen g4 afterwards. Oh, I'm short of time. Okay, then I just have to play. I don't think this is very good, but I have to go for it. Queen g4 and knight d6 and hope for the best. Then I take on c4 and we'll see what happens. I guess I would draw if I want, but I don't particularly want that. Guess the people want to see a time scramble anyway. Okay. Can take on g2, so I shouldn't be worse, but you can take on a7. He didn't do that, and now I should be better at least. Oh. What am I doing? Just have to go back. I just have to make sure I get a position that's easy to play. Okay. Tough game, really tough game. Once again goes to show that the Carlsen is not for me, but he played well. Okay. I'm gonna go try a 5-minute game now, because I'm getting so worn out from all of these time scrambles, or at least the one time scramble. What should I do? Okay, let's try the Scandinavian. This is a really dumb line though. Why does he exchange queens? Doesn't he know that I'm supposed to be the greatest endgame player of all time? That was supposed to be, I don't know. I guess it's funny because it's true, right? I'm not that high on myself. I am, but I usually don't admit it publicly. Anyway, this is a queenless middle game, not an end game yet. So, and there are a lot of tactics. Let's say if he had gone bishop c6 there, it could have been very interesting. Bishop c6, knight e5, bishop g2, rook g1, bishop h3, knight b5, and who knows what's going on. Now I have a comfortable position. Don't think I'm better, but it's always nice to be the side that's pushing with black. Maybe this was a bit too ambitious, but then again, why not? He's played pretty passively so far, so there's no reason why he should feel the urgency yet. Yeah, this knight e4 move I'm kind of happy to see, since Yeah, bishop c5 is not going to happen because of bishop e4. And with the knight always being a bit unstable on e4, d4 is not an issue. Yeah, knight c5. That's a good move. Suppose I have to take it. Should I go bishop f3 or should I not? I'm gonna go knight h6. If he wants to go knight e1, that's fine by me. That knight is not gonna have any prospects for a while. I'm gonna go knight f5, then push h4, h5, h4, and I'll be very comfortable. Maybe he can go knight d2. That I didn't consider. Bishop g2, rook g1, no tactics. Yeah, good move. Shouldn't have allowed that. So no, he's quite fine. Very slightly better, but it's mostly a theoretical rather than practical edge. Because yeah, in practice it should be fairly drawish. I will still win the game though, seeing as I am, as earlier noted, the greatest endgame player of all time, according to some. But it's not going to be easy. A5 feels useful. Not to have that one getting fixed. S3 is good. He's making all the right moves. He's clearly a very solid positional player. Now he probably should go king d2, hinting at rook a1. And I don't know what I was saying earlier. I don't have an edge. Position is just equal. That was a poor move though. Now we do have some pressure. Already threatening bishop e4, and if g4 then knight h4, and yeah, f3 is hanging and he's gonna lose a pawn. Rook h1, but that's still a fairly healthy extra pawn. That is a good move, actually. I'm not sure he realizes the point, but it is a good move. I'll try and be tricky and go rook g8 first. I'm threatening bishop e4 followed by knight g5, so he should go bishop e3, after which I should take on e4 anyways, but I don't know. By delaying it, I was trying to do something. Not quite sure what. Oh, I'm allowing bishop h6. Ooh, but I have king e6, and then if rook g7, I have yeah, rook h8. No, that doesn't work. Maybe it does. I don't know. Yeah, the only worrying thing is if king e6, he may have c3. My knight is getting dangerously short of space, so guess I should bring it back, but this wasn't very smooth technique, that's for sure. What am I doing? Nobody ever taught me to put the rook behind the passed pawn. Let's go. And now Time has run out, but the position is also hopeless, so... Okay. Let me see. Who have we got? Okay, gonna try somebody from Uruguay. Black Dog 30. D4 this time. You gotta show up. Ah, I have an opponent. That's good. Bishop F4, London system, has won me many a nice game. And hopefully, good thing about it is that sometimes you can win model games with it. So I will try to make that happen. That will be my goal for this particular game. Let's see how much he knows about this stuff. Okay, I don't know if his plan is bishop a6. I'm going to go knight e5. It's not a great move in case he goes bishop b7, which he did. So that was a bit of a bummer. I was hoping for bishop a6 because then I would just win the tempo. But now I have to do this, which is really not a good line, but what can you do? So the point is of my previous move is that he had a positional threat of going knight f5, then after my bishop moves to f2, bishop e7, followed by knight d6, occupying the square in e4. And queen b1 is an extremely ugly way of preventing that, but it's probably the only reasonable way. So a5 is preparing bishop a5 and a bishop exchange, but it's probably not quite concrete enough. Okay, I'm gonna try and play for the audience a bit with bishop g5. Now my plan is h4. It's probably not too great, but trying to play to the crowd for once. That's what you want, right? None of these boring endings, all the nonsense you've seen so far. Just pure brute force attack. I think knight e4 is a bit desperate. There was no particular need for such measures. You can go f6, which doesn't win a piece because of knight g6, hg, queen e6, rook f7, h5. Then after gh, I can go bishop h4. But even the win of a piece, I don't think would have made him happy if actually he'd have won it. So yeah, knight e4 wasn't very good, and now I'm a pawn up with positional advantage to boot. Yeah. Problem here is that I really want to go long castles because hg wins, but he has bishop g5, hg, and queen g5, and I cannot allow myself to play that primitively for tricks. So I'm just gonna keep it simple and try and mate him in a more prosaic way. Rook is coming to G3. And yeah, F5 felt kind of forced at some point, but now he's losing a second pawn and the game. And that's it. 2 pawns up.
One more.
2 pawns up in the rook ending, and the game should be in the bag. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna try and fix my connection till next time. Sorry, folks. I don't know what's wrong. But something seems to go wrong every time. And when other people play Banter Blitz, it doesn't. So I'm the problem, and I have to figure out how to fix it. Okay, Tommy Man. It's a good player, 2900 plus. Who is Tommy Man? Ah, Thomas Kernan. He's a Grandmaster. I was hoping it was a fish with a high Blitz rating, but no such luck. So I'm gonna try and get a so-called, what do you call it, a Norwegian rat? Gonna try to get it again, and I shall be very disappointed if I do not. And everybody does something else. What is it about this particular opening that is so scary? Tell me, people. Okay. No, his setup makes some sense, I suppose. Since he doesn't have to. Yeah, after 3 bishop d3 in the pitch, then usually black goes e5, which is supposed to give good play. But here, this is not so simple. With this particular move order, so I can understand him. But at the end of the day, why people aren't trying to refute this particular opening, I don't really get 100%. e5 you can take if you want, but then rook e1 is really kind of pointless. And but yeah, if he wants a very safe game, that's what he should do. I once won a game from a very similar position against the famous Norwegian Grandmaster who seems to be mentioned on every show, Jon Ludvig Hammer. But that was a little bit different, I think. And in that game, I played for an attack with knight h5 and so on. But this time, I'm gonna. He really wants me to play knight h5, which confuses me a bit. Then knight d2, knight f4 should be okay. But it's a bit dull. That's the problem. It's really dull. So I'll try something else. Yeah, when he allows me to get this base, I'm gonna take it. I'm not sure it's very useful, but it looks really dumb to go a5 and then not to go a4. So there you have it. It's a good move. Guess I should take it. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about about this position. It's really dull, and I'm not at all better. He's probably, if anyone, the one who's slightly better. Maybe preparing Rook A1 followed by Rook A8, and also stepping out of any possible attacks. Yeah, I really feel like I haven't handled this well. This exchange isn't great from a positional point of view, but I'm hoping that with the help of some tactics, it might be good. I'm not really sure why he's aiming to exchange that one. I feel like that should be a good exchange for me, because now okay, my bishop is not active, but it may become a good bishop eventually, and at least it imbalances the game a bit, which should be okay for me. So I feel like the trend is not bad, and that his last couple of moves have been kind of poor. He's still fine, but not even close to being better. I'm the one who can claim to be slightly better now. So the trend is good. C4. Yeah, I feel good about bishop E7. Potentially getting access to some dark squares, hoping to dominate his knight a little bit. Yeah, King G7, why not? Okay, Rook A1. Suppose his plan is Knight A1, but it doesn't look like a very good plan. This also looks really poor. I'm completely dominating now. Not winning yet, but it's not that far from it actually. Queen C2, but now I go Rook C3. If Queen back, I have a couple of options. I can go Rook C1, Queen C1, Queen D3, or I can just go Queen D3 immediately. Okay, I guess I'll just go with this looks the cleanest, to be honest. Yeah, he's attacking E5, but Queen E4 wins a pawn and protects E5, so that cannot be too bad. And if Knight D2, I can just take and go Queen C4. 2 pawns up, and the Queen ending should be plain sailing. Now I'm threatening Queen C4, and here his knight is getting dominated again, and it's really, he really regretted the bishop exchange at the end, since my previously inactive bishop became a monster eventually. And to be honest, I didn't do too much in this game. It was mostly self-inflicted damage on his part. He played a very solid opening, but he chose the wrong plan, and after that it didn't have to do much. He just had to put the pieces on good squares and start collecting. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 more games, and then I have to go. So I'm gonna do 1 5-minute game now, and then we'll see if it will be a 3 or a 5-minute at the end. Okay, so let's try. I've tried so many nonsense openings with black, especially the so-called Norwegian rat. So let's try and play something strange with white as well. Yeah, so the idea is after EF I go Queen F3. A typical idea in these black Redeemer positions is FE, Queen Knight E4, Queen F3. That only works, unfortunately, when the bishop is on C1 and there's no mate on D2. So now I have to go for something a bit more mundane. C6 is no good. Now he's just giving me an initiative for free. Okay, E5 was stupid. I got a bit too excited there. Should just gone Knight F3. Or maybe this is not too bad. Maybe I'm being too harsh on myself. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, he's got a difficult choice here. F6 looks really ugly. Otherwise, Knight B4, I can go EF. And then Bishop F7, long castles. That looks extremely promising. And after FE, I think I'll just go either Knight F3 or long castles. And he has serious problems with his development. And mine is going quite swimmingly. So, should I include EF? That's the question. I don't want to. And there's always a little trap that if he goes Bishop C2 at some point, then I have D3, trapping the bishop. Okay, so I guess long castles and a quick Knight F3, and I should be doing pretty well. Pretty well. I'm thinking if long castles, Queen E3 is really annoying for him. Since King B8 runs into Bishop C4, Queen F5, G4, winning a piece because of Queen G6, Queen F4 check. And I suppose his best choice is probably Queen C5. That's really ugly. And yeah, now he just walked into Bishop C4, and that's going to be the ball game right there. So that's the problem with playing the sort of opening that he played. 2 Bishop G4 is an excellent move, but once I get F3, E4, the stakes are raised immediately, and the character of the game changes, and it means that you can once in a while lose quickly. Which is obviously never desirable. So yeah. yeah, you gotta be careful. And now the final point is rook f8. I have knight e5, so I don't lose a piece. And I expect the game to be over. Yeah, sorry. It's a little late to start thinking now. Mr. Carlos Renuaba from Chile. It's this one. Yeah. Okay, he resigned. Okay, thanks for the game. And last one. It's gonna be the last one. Who have we got? Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, let's get a 3-minute game at the end. Milan Andre, which was not surprisingly Andre Milan. Okay, final game, boys and girls. Let's make it a good one by playing a boring first move. 1c4. And is he not here? Yeah, he's here. Why are people stalling on the first move? I don't get that. Knight s3. After e4, I was gonna go knight g1. Just so you people know. Why is he playing so boringly? I want a d4. And this is not a great line. But what can you do? Not sure bishop c5 is great. e3. I suppose it's fine, but I feel like I'm getting an easier game than I should in this particular line. After d5, I have the choice whether I should go knight b3, which doesn't look great, knight c6, or something else. Yeah, so what he's doing is solid, but it's just a little worse here. And the position is not massively pleasant. After d6, I'm going to go knight c6, then b3, bishop b2. And I have a slight structural edge. So I guess this makes sense. I'm going to go cd now. He should probably go knight d4. And then ed, bishop b4, but still bishop f3. Or bishop g5, I'm a bit better. He's going to have some activity here, but I'm hoping that my, at this point, fairly significant structural edge will be more important. Let's try it. So we're in the home stretch here, and it's freezing time and time again. It's not the best timing, but we're gonna try and fix it next time, people. Sorry for the inconvenience and not making your viewer experience as smooth as it should be. Yeah. My Skype is clearly telling me that it's high time to quit. Okay, rook b8. I don't know, I feel like playing a bit concretely. I didn't like rook b1, maybe you could go bishop f5 or something, so I'm just going to do this. He can take a2, but then at least I get knight c5 and I have some fun. And after this I go knight c5 anyways. And he's just spending too much time. You gotta stop thinking, folks. Stop thinking, start doing. Now knight a6 is a decisive fork. Because I mean, if you challenge for a 3-minute game, you gotta play fast. Otherwise, it's just better for both of us. If you play 5 minutes, I have more time to talk nonsense, and you have more time to think. Okay, good game, and I guess that's the last one of the day. Thanks everybody for tuning in, for challenging me, and there's going to be more. This is not the last chance, so don't despair.